Yo, welcome to the Scoop with Dukes. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. And please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you have not already become a member of the channel, please do so by going to my page. Go to the page of the Scoop with Dukes, become a member. It puts your contributions to the channel on autopilot, whether it's $4.99, $9.99, $29.99, I don't know, whatever you want to give. We appreciate it, and it keeps this content coming at you. So this is a college football live show, so we got some things to talk about. I want to talk about Damon Williams at Washington, where he said he got bad advice from an agent, which caused his saga that we all saw and that played out in front of the entire nation, where he basically said, look, if Washington doesn't let me go into the transfer portal, I'm going to sue. Lost his agent, who was also the agent of his head coach, and did all of that just to go back to Washington. So we'll dive into that situation a little bit. The SEC will be distributing $1 billion worth of revenue. $1 billion. So what does that mean for SEC teams in 2026? I'll tell you, because I use my math skills a little bit to try to figure that out. Also, Trinidad Chamblas. Right now, we'll check in on that drama, see what's going on there. Will he or won't he be the quarterback for Ole Miss next year? Is he a pro? I don't know. And then, of course, as always, we're going to talk Colorado and Auburn, as those are the two main fan bases that I cover. What are you guys seeing out of the from the pregame network, Reach the People Media, Well Off Media? What are you guys seeing out there in winter workouts that's catching your eye? As always, you guys know you're more than welcome to drop a super chat if you have a question about anything that you want to make sure I see. But just want to get through a couple of topics. But yeah, if you want me to stop, shoot, super chat, I got it. And then once we get through a few topics, then I'll open up the floor. We can just ask questions and kick it like we usually do. But yeah, man. Oh, before I get started, I gotta get what's up, gang. So everybody in the building, what's up, my man? STSK gang, what's happening? 5409. Aretha Burton, appreciate you checking in. As always, man. You can drop your location, where you from. Also drop, man, what you want to talk about. So I'm gonna start doing more of these kind of college football type deals. It doesn't have to be college football, but whatever you guys want to talk about, man. And we'll go for now. My man, Coach CJ, the running back coach at Langston Hughes. How often do you see a public school running back coach, not an IMG, not a private school, a public school running back coach, guide two running backs, not one, but two in the same class to Power Four institutions? Doesn't happen often. So shout out to Coach CJ, man. I really appreciate you reposting that stream. But you did a phenomenal job over there with Fat Boy and Carson last year, man. Carson Baker going to Texas A&M, and Quantavious Fat Boy Wiggins is going to Wisconsin. So, man, phenomenal job. Shout out to my man, Coach CJ, man. And what's up, Faith? Nassau Bahamas in the house. And yeah, I did want to make mention of, y'all see my hat. Y'all know I love my hats, right? All right, we'll get to it later. But I love wrestling, grew up on wrestling. But I was a WCW guy because it came on free. If you lived in Atlanta, you got WCW free. About 70% of the time in my household, we didn't have cable. So I grew up on WCW. So this 1995 Halloween Havoc hat, I found a wrestling store that had some cool hats, some WCW hats. So I picked up a few of them. Now, this is one of my favorites. My boy, hey, what's up, Big Bundles? My dog, what's happening, my brother? But this is one of the hats that I picked up now. My favorite hat. This hat right here I'm about to show y'all is in the running for one of my favorite hats of all time. This is a Mitchell and Ness. Hold on, I'm gonna take it out the plastic. Fresh out the plastic. Now, even though I'm a WCW guy, I love wrestling growing up. Bro, Mitchell and Ness Ultimate Warrior snapback, bro. Bro, I might not never wear this hat, bro. It might not never leave the house. But I thought it was too dope, and I got it for a stupid good price. It was like a dub. But yeah, just super 90s retro. Nostalgia, man. So yeah. Now let's get down to business. Okay, so we talk about agents, right? Um, we talk about guys in college football right now who have been giving bad advice to players. As somebody who's mentored a million players, talked to, helped guide, I've actually helped people with their contracts. I've done a lot when it comes to this NIL space, and I kind of feel bad for a Washington quarterback, Damon Williams. So he goes on record as saying that, uh, yesterday, Wednesday, he was quoted, and this is coming from ESPN. Now, this is also an Associated Press article where he says his short-lived decision to leave the Huskies was a mistake that resulted from really bad advice. All right, the article reads, the 19-year-old Williams announced last month that he was entering the transfer portal, then changed his mind 2 days later and said he would be back with the Huskies. According to multiple reports, Washington was prepared to pursue legal options to enforce Williams's lucrative name, image, and likeness contract. Williams's NIL deal exceeded $4 million, according to ESPN, and his potential departure raised question about the validity of such contracts. When asked to explain what happened along four teammates and coach Jed Fish, Williams said he understood and appreciated the question. This is what he said. Definitely being 19, you get good advice and you get really bad advice at times. We're all human. We all make mistakes. And at the end of the day, I'm super blessed to be here with my brothers and my coaches and just at the University of Washington. I'm just so happy to be here and just so blessed. Williams was also asked what considerations went into his decision to enter the portal in the first place, only to pull his name out. The rising junior said he was grateful that his teammates and coaches have accepted him back. He also did not comment when asked if it was LSU that sought to acquire him through the portal. Man, so Mr. Williams, last year, phenomenal quarterback, completed 69.5% of his passes, 3,000 yards, and 25 touchdowns. Okay. This is where we are in college football. You've got guys who have never been able to create revenue or who have never been a walking revenue stream in the immediate. So we always hear the stories of good high school players that have guys who recruit them and attach themselves to them because hopefully eventually in the NFL they will repay some of the things that, we got what we call street agents or runners or, all types of quote unquote uncles, right? I've been called a cash unk a million times, right? And until recently, guys have never been able to seek return on their investment so early because NIL wasn't in place. Now, when you have a 19-year-old who's worth $4 million tomorrow, he doesn't have to wait. And this isn't the NBA. See, in the NBA, previously 19-year-olds would get money year one. You get a lottery pick, you'll get 2 to 4 million, 3 million, 2 million. First round picks, you're gonna get that bread, right? In the NFL, you always had to wait 3 years. But now it's super important to keep good people around you. If you have family members, if you have children who are NFL prospects, not even NFL, NCAA prospects, you got to keep the right people around you. Because when things become lucrative, that's when the BS follows. I don't care what it is. It could be marijuana. Everybody loves to smoke marijuana. Well, guess what? It became legalized because people had to figure out a way to get taxed. Somebody was going to get their cut. And it's the same thing with NIL. There are going to be guys that pop up out of the woodworks and NIL companies and merchandising companies and companies that say, you know what, there is a new pool of revenue. How do we get in? So now I have no inside knowledge of this case. I don't know the advice that Damon Williams got. I do know who his agent was, Doug Henderson. really well-renowned agent, also the agent of his coach. So Doug Hendrickson actually terminated their agreement during this saga. So I know Doug Hendrickson. No, Doug Hendrickson knows what he's doing. We have a relationship. Shout out to Doug. But I'm wondering, did somebody? And I'm not going to put all of the onus of the problem in the college football when it comes to players being told numbers to leave. I'm not putting all of that onus on agents because schools do it as well through agents and through people close to you. For example, let's say, I don't know, the University of South America, okay? USA, what we'll call them. The University of South America says, you know what, we're starting our football our football program. We've got more money than anybody in college football. Find somebody close to Williams and tell him we're going to give him $6 million a year. Okay? But all you got to do is get in the portal. Then the word gets out and, you say, hey, I'm telling you. You find somebody reputable in his family and you tell him, hey, just tell him you're talking to somebody directly at the school. Put me on speakerphone saying it. Because you're not talking directly to the kid at that point. All of this can be, we've got tampering, which has about the same penalties as jaywalking at this point. So they skirt the legal lines. They let it be known that, hey, you can get whatever your contract is, you can get $6 million if you come to the University of South America. The player hears that, goes to his current school, goes to the powers that be at Washington and says, hey, y'all, listen, I really want to stay here, but I'm leaving $2 million on the table. If his contract was worth $4 and somebody is giving you $6, that's a considerable jump. Hey, I'm leaving $2 million on the table. Coach, can y'all match this? As a university, you have to do your due diligence in some way, shape, or form to find out how much do I value this quarterback? And can I build a roster if I pay him $2 million more? Where do I have to take this money from? And we'll get to the pools of money and where they take things and how you can get around that. But how do I make this work is what the school says. So, and this is what happens. I've seen it happen. Know people that has happened to. Player A, or right now we're talking about Williams, goes into the portal feeling undervalued because somebody told him $6 million, right? Then you get in the portal, and now the team that's pulled you in the portal says, oh, you know what? Oh man, something happened. We had somebody pull out at the last minute. We can only get you 3.5. But man, everything we talked about, the offense is going to be based around you. We're going to still get you that car. Everything else you want, we're going to get you that 3.5. And that school is gambling on the fact that you won't be returning to your old team because 9 times out of 10, it's very rare that you see guys leave a program and go back, especially the way that they got this, the way that DeMond Williams went into the portal. So you're gambling on the fact that, hey, you know what? He won't be able to go back anyway. You push him in the portal, tell him this is what I can give you, this is what you can get. And then you let the cards fall where they may. If you get outbid for the kid, you just go get another one. So this is a really treacherous world when it comes to NIL. And we always blame it on the agents and we always blame it on the kids, but the colleges have equal culpability because it's going on everywhere. So I'm so glad that DeMond Williams was able to go back to Washington to mend those broken fences, to talk to his coach. I loved when he made the statements he was with his coach and his teammates, because I do believe somebody told him an unreal number to get him in the portal and pull the rug from underneath his feet with this number And I feel like that's what happened. And it does happen the other way too. There are agents who say, "Hey man, I can get you this amount of money but you got to get in the portal to get it." You go in the portal and you trust the wrong person, then you just got what? Bad advice. There are thousands of players still in the portal right now on bad advice. You should leave. How many players are in the portal right now without film that had a home? I'm not talking about the guys who left and didn't have a home. I'm talking about the guys who left the school with a home. See, some people got pushed into the portal, right? Understandably so. Another part where colleges have some culpability in the problem. But there are a lot of guys who got bad advice and left the home to get into the portal, and now they don't have anywhere to go. And naturally, even if they wanted to go down a division, down a competition level, they still may not be able to because now rosters are filling up. So if I had my choice of what I would fix about sports in general, number one order of business would be to fix college football. I think there has to be some way where salary caps can go up to give the athletes a better or more realistic portion of what they're actually worth, right? And two, I think there should be equal. I think we should find a way to extend contracts for coaches where coaches have to stay and players have to stay. See, like there's a transfer portal for players, but there isn't really a portal time for coaches. See, coaches can leave right now and go to the league. And the same players that they recruited, that they may have been the lead recruiter for, they're just stuck. They're just stuck. I'm at the school. I can't transfer because there's no transfer portal, but my coach can leave. I think in college football, we have to find a way to create equal circumstances for coaches and players. Lane Kiffin literally left during a playoff run. Imagine if a quarterback did that. What if a star quarterback sat out of the playoffs and said, "I'm going to my dream school. Oh, Ohio State wants me next year." We would be up in arms. It would be the worst thing known in college football. I don't think it's fair at all. So those would be, I think in college football, you got to fix the equality between coaches and players. I think you also have to find a way to get the players more of a share of what it's really worth. And then we got to start really just being realistic about this because the players, think about every rule that puts in college football, they find a way around it. It's been like that since the beginning of college football. You couldn't pay players, teams paid players. It is what it is. People, I mean, literally, for everything that's ever been created, man has found a way to create a workaround for it. Cheating or whatever. So I think we got to find that fix for financially. And then I think the calendar is all messed up. You had the transfer portal going on with on the road high school recruiting at the same time. So if a transfer wanted to take a last minute visit, that means that coach who was his lead recruiter probably couldn't be on campus because he needed to be out recruiting the next class, the class of 27. So I think those are my three things that you got to fix in college football. One, you got to give players more of the cut. It needs to be a little more fair. Two, there should be a transfer portal calendar for coaches as well, where they can't leave players that they recruited hanging, right? After they recruited a player there, then they just can leave. They can go to the league or go to another school. There needs to be a time on when you can change jobs. And yeah, I think in 3, and I got another one I really wanted to say, but I'll just leave it at the calendar. 3 will fix the calendar. Looking at the comments, I got a good one from David Isabel here. The NCAA literally has to do their job. It's like our government. It can do right if it wants to, but it means its own loopholes for kickbacks. Yeah. But it means its own loopholes for kickbacks get closed. Okay, I read that wrong. The NCAA literally has to do their job. It's like our government. It can do right if it wants to, but it means its own loopholes for kickbacks get closed. Thank you for your patience there, David. All right. So moving right along, let's talk about the SEC and this $1 billion and what it means. So the SEC now is going to share over $1 billion in revenue with this 16 schools. This is a report from the AP as well. The Southeastern Conference is distributing more than $1 billion to its 16 universities based on the 24-25 fiscal year, which ended last August. The total distribution jumped more than $200 million from the previous year. The current total includes $37.4 million retained by universities that participated in the college football playoffs and bowl games. The amount distributed from the conference office includes bowl revenue retained by participants and averaged $72.4 million for schools with full year financial participation. Oklahoma and Texas, which joined the conference in July, received distributions of $2.6 million and $12.1 million, respectively, related to college football and bowl participation in designated NCAA funds. All right. Here's the part that we probably want to tune into. This is for your SEC people. And for other conferences, if you want to know what the SEC will be working with as far as the salary cap goes, the $72.4 million average per school is approximately $18.6 million above the 23-24 average of $53.8 million for full members. Okay. So in those distributions in year one, from the 50, let's do a little math with Deuce, okay? If I'm doing this correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, of the 53.8 million distributed to schools, around 21 million was the number last year that was given up that was made available for NIL for all sports. And of that 21 million, most competitive schools said they took around 14 million. So about 70%. Okay. So when I think about what that number will look like this year, if the number goes up by 18 million, or you can just add, if it's apples to apples, if the number goes up by 18 million, you take 70% of that. I'm thinking 70% of 70 million. No way possible. No, half of 70 million. So I would say 70% of 35 million. So I'm looking at a true 21 million. I'm thinking about $21 million just for football. An additional, I'm thinking about the SEC average for football should probably be around $22 million this year, which makes sense. When we just had, we heard Auburn coach Alex Golis just mention, his goal for the year was $25 million. And they spent around 30. And the way they do that, we'll talk about that too. But yeah, the goal was 25 and they got into 30. Slugged up Durkin, what's up, my guy? Oh, David Isabel with the super chat, $4.99. Just my player partner, just showing love. Man, I appreciate it, my brother. Everything counts around here. We did it a little early today. I usually go on later on, but I know you got Uncle Chico coming on tonight. A lot of lot of my fan base, or a lot of, not even my fam base, watches that show. So shout out to the Pregame Network. Shout out to Uncle Chico. So I try not to bump heads with them. So I wanted to make sure I got in here a little earlier tonight. So how much money, if the new number is 21 million, how do you distribute the money? If you had 21 million, can you be competitive with only 21 million in football? I think the NIL money, when they go through these companies, these third party, is like Play Fly Sports, and you create, like, you saw the monumental deal that Texas A&M did a couple of years ago, or maybe last year, a couple of years ago, somewhere in there, where they literally talked about, hey, how much money we're going to be able to bring to Texas A&M athletes in NIL because of our marketing relationships. So I'm starting to wonder, like, how do you even get around the salary cap number? And then, when you think about it, that's those third party NIL guys. There are going to be some schools that, if you can get enough, they're going to be playing with $40 million budgets. Think about this. The cap this year will probably be around $21 million for football alone. The cap is probably going to be around 28, right? And then the cap is going to be about 21, somewhere in there. I'd say 25 at the most, right? $22 million is what Ohio State said they needed 2.5 years ago, when Ryan Day made that speech before he went on the national championship run. $20 million was 2 years ago. But this is the thing. If you look at how much college football makes as a total, as a whole, this $20 million is still just a fraction of it. Now, I understand you got to take into account production costs and fixed costs and everything that goes into presenting a product. But I don't think any of this gets fixed until you find a way to pay the players more of what they're truly worth. And then, even then, I mean, think about this. You even see it a little bit in the league, but usually it's a pretty strict, for whatever reason. The league, you never hear about players getting extra money to, the Falcons aren't paying under the table for players, right? We never hear about that. So I wonder what the difference is with college football. That's a question. What do you guys think the difference is? Why do we never hear stories of professional athletes getting money under the table? Now, we hear about the gambling stuff, right? But we never hear about it with college football. And I think at this point, David Isabel makes a great point, saying amateurism needs a cap. College football is turning its head to earnings, and that's the elephant in the room. Exactly. What is an amateur at this point? You're an amateur. See, to me, an amateur is someone who doesn't have the skills to kind of to generate, right? They don't have the skills to generate the type of revenue. But when you're generating that type of revenue, you really can't be an amateur. Like, how can you? I know guys on a personal level that are making more money than 2 or 3 position coaches on their team. Seriously. Not 2 or 3 individually, 2 or 3 combined. It's crazy. Like, people want to go, like, great point. David Isabel said, we got pros trying to come back to college. They like, hey, bro, hey, it's scary out here. Let me go back to college where the bag is. Right? I don't know how we fix it. And, man, I always say this, man. I had a guy, a booster at the school, told me, I asked him, I said, man, how do they put I said, man, they done opened up a can of worms. How do you fix it? He said, dog, when you ever seen worms crawl back in a can? So you're right. Once it's up, I've never seen never seen spilled milk go back in the container. It's over with, right? So I guess we just got to navigate it together as college football fans and still enjoy the moments that we get, like a Trinidad Chamblas, which takes us into our next topic. Trying a new little format here. And we still could kick it, right? We got to talk about Trinidad Chamblas. All right. NCAA denies quarterback appeal for Ole Miss quarterback. All right. Pete Thelma wrote this a couple days ago. The NCAA has denied Ole Miss's appeal for Trinidad Chamblas' 6-year eligibility waiver. The waiver, which was denied by the NCAA Athletics and Eligibility Subcommittee, was for a medical red shirt stemming from his second year at Ferris State in 2022. His second year. Hey, man, let's go find out, should he get this waiver? Let's go find out. Ferris State. How many games did he play? Trinidad Chamblas. We're going to look this up right now, y'all. Should he have gotten his waiver? So we're looking, so the 22 year is in question. We're going to pull up his career stats. I'm looking now. Did he play in enough games? Okay, that's 2023. I don't see it. He may have a case, y'all. 23, 24, 24, 25. I know he's been in school for a while. That 22 season, he ain't playing no games. Hey, he may have a case. Now, I don't know how much more. Okay, appeared in no games as a redshirt freshman. So this case is going to boil down to the validity of his injury in 2022. Was he really hurt? I don't know. If he can prove that he was hurt or had some type of injury, I think he gets the year. I think that may be the crux of the decision. Okay, here we go. Now here's the answer. I just looked it up to find out no games played in that 22 year. Okay, here we go. In a filing this week in state court, the NCAA detailed why the injunction should not be granted. That includes claims by the NCAA that the medical documentation that Chamblas provided showed that he chose to forego surgery in 2022 so he could participate in the football season and opted instead for medication management. So he wanted to play hurt, but should have gotten surgery. If he would have gotten the surgery, they would have granted this. They would have granted this injunction. Okay. Wow. But because he chose to play hurt and instead opt for medication management, he loses that year. This case can have so many far-reaching ramifications when it comes to college football. When it comes to playing hurt, the red shirt rule, the 4-game rule. This is big stuff that we're witnessing in college football. I don't know what the next move is for Chamblas because it looks like the NCAA is quote unquote standing on business on this one. This is what the NCAA is saying about Chambliss's case. This is a direct quote from the NCAA. Collegiate sports will become ungovernable if eligibility determinations are instead the result of individual court decisions. So basically, they're saying individualized court decisions that become precedent, like in legal cases, will make college football ungovernable, which means that if you have one guy with a unique situation that you formed to be a class act, then in that instance, you won't be able to manage and it's untenable. That's a tough one, right? Because I understand you've got parents that say, okay, these guys need to move on. Imagine if you're Deuce Knight and the decision on you probably starting is hinging on his decision. Now, I'm not saying that that's what he's thinking, but quite honestly, why wouldn't you think that? Right? Okay. 2, I'm getting the surgery. Playing, if it's my child, knowing how lucrative these years can be, playing hurt. Huh? It's something to seriously think about. This can really shape college football as a whole. I mean, it's the same, man. I don't want to sound like a get off my lawn type guy, but I was thinking about this watching the Pro Bowl. How lucky were we as, I'm in my early, I'm 43. Is that early? That's mid 40s. Is 43 mid 40s or early 40s? I don't know. I think I'm approaching mid 40s. I guess if you split it into threes, 40 to 43, 43 to 46, 46 to 50. So I'm in my mid 40s. I'll take that one. Okay, cool. If you grew up in my era, 5 years prior, 5 years before, whatever. 5 years after. How lucky were we to see what we saw? To see the Pro Bowl where people actually put on pads to go run around and made tackles. The mystique of, do y'all remember the dunk contest where guys, football players were going like Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders in a dunk contest, bro? That would never happen today. When we find out a player can hoop, it's like, all right. The mystique that the college football, not even just college football, the mystique that athletes had when we grew up, it made shows like NBA Inside Stuff worth it, right? We were glued to the television on Saturdays. We wanted to see what was going on. There was so much behind the veil that we didn't see, that it created stars bigger than they were. No social media for people for you to find out. There was always a saying, and the people always say this: you should never meet your heroes. They'll disappoint you. And we get to meet our heroes so fast now. I mean, even rappers I used to like, man, it ain't nothing worse than finding out your favorite rapper lame. Oh, man. You quoting all this stuff that you find out he a sucker, man. I don't know. It's almost like when I don't even like movie characters or actors in a character. When I find out the actor is lame, I'm like, man, I don't even appreciate the character like I used to. But yeah, man, it's just we gotta. That's why I'm so grateful for YouTube. We can go back and enjoy how it used to be, right? Because the mystique and all of that is over with now. It's over. Even college football, where the logo on the helmet meant so much more. I got buddies of mine right now who played in the early 2000s. I just had Ronnie Brown on the show. Shoot, got an interview with Jason Campbell. He's coming on tonight. We'll do that. I'll probably drop the Jason Campbell interview tomorrow for Auburn coverage. Talk to Philip Lindsay at Colorado. But man, they all kind of feel like, man, they missed the pride that went along with the logo, but I always challenge them with this, right? Would you trade the ability to make this type of money for the pride that went along with representing the logo? They all get quiet. Feels the cat. NIL, man. One word. David Isabel, snap with this one. Yeah, I miss those days. We can still save it, but money will make a coward out you. Bruh, it seemed like we being, you get what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to go run it. Like, think about this. That's why football was never, like, fully guaranteed contracts have never really been able to go in football, because how can you sign up for car crashes on a consistent basis and you already got your money? How can you pace, like, basketball a little bit different? Baseball, fully guaranteed. Basketball, they guaranteeing the money. Football, one person fully guaranteed. Deshaun Watson. That's it. Probably never happen again. That money, man. So I think, I don't know what the answer is, but I do think we should. I think that we should, take time and revisit the days that we had, man. And that's gonna be a recurring thing for me. Let's go back and reminisce on the days that we had. How good was it, man? It was awesome, man. Y'all remember the cartoon show with Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan? Oh my! We thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Even the shoes, the commercials. Right now, you got one line of commercials that really goes crazy from a pro athlete. That's Anthony Edwards. Best commercials, hands down. And we don't even get to see them because we don't watch TV long enough to even get the commercials. We watch Netflix, and we paying Netflix to not have ads. We're streaming. It's just a new world. Most commercials you're going to see going to be on this YouTube. And if you got premium, you don't even have to see those. Just a new world, man. All right, so I know it's a lot of so for anybody in here, Colorado or Auburn, let's do this. Let's open it up, y'all. Colorado or Auburn, what y'all want to do, man? We can. I haven't. I saw a couple of questions earlier, so if you got a Colorado or Auburn question, Pro Stars, where the Buffalo Pro Stars. Okay, I knew I had some of my Saturday morning partners in here with me. You hear me? Yes, sir. Pro Stars. Pro Stars. Yes. I love it, man. But yeah, any questions y'all have, man, drop them. Did you see Michael Jordan in them emerald black diamond turf tools? Throwback commercials. Man, did I? Yes, I did. Man, I think the dopest shoe I ever saw Michael Jordan wear was the Andre Agassi Air Tech Challenge for the Grapes. There's a picture of Mike Jordan. Him and Scottie Pippen had on the same outfit in the 92 Olympics. It was a purple windbreaker. He's taking a jump shot, and he has on the Andre Agassi's. Bro, dope is, and I tried to get the picture depixelated because there's only like one picture floating around on the internet, and I tried to get it depixelated so I could put it on a t-shirt to match the Air Tech Challenge Agassi's. And I had a seller on StockX decide not to sell me the Agassi's. Probably my most, and I was gonna pay $500 for them. Now they up to like $1,600. Air Tech, yes, sir. They had the Air Tech Challenge 2s come out this year. We got a question. JRad28 said, Dukes, did you enter the portal and leave TMR? No, man, ain't enter no portal, man. Now, I was just talking about them earlier. That's family, for sure. No, just the schedule, man, just kind of with my day job, I did a lot of running around. But nah, man, that's family for life. You got the lavas in the, yeah, for sure. And the race of pink. Yeah, you snap. Gang said, how you feel about the team talking about Colorado? About just watching the videos, it seems like they connecting the whole team. Well, man, I think there's a lot of guys with something to prove that really got something to prove. I mean, I think the questions asked before people were given offers, I think the intake was different. I think that's why you may see a little bit different kind of vibe. I'm gonna get Bucky on here. But I think Bucky been what you do. I'm gonna get Bucky on here after he's been around it for a while. Last year, Bucky told me, and I've told the story already, but when I got there in Colorado in August, and me and Bucky were talking, this same day, I think I had Darius interviewed me on Reach the People. And then me and Bucky just talking off the record, and he was like, man, it's different. And we had a conversation, but he was like, man, it's different, dog. And I'm gonna ask him that on here. And because I never asked him what he meant, but I think I know what he meant now, for sure. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a better team, a better product overall. And I think it's about some of the questions being asked on the way in. And, some of the expectations being set up front. Like I think last year it was just kind of it fell off the rails, and I think leadership it was a team problem. It wasn't just the players, it wasn't just the coaches. I think Coach Prime did what he had to do. He made some changes in the coach, made some changes on staff. Some staff left. You're gonna have a different mentality in that whole program as a whole, and I just can't blame the players, and I can't just blame the coaches. It was an equal effort, and I think all together, I think you'll definitely see a better product this year. Though I told you, yeah, those Agassi 4s on eBay for like $1,800. Oh man, I was heartbroken. I still got the email where I was buying them for $500, and I tell this story all the time. Man, I had won this is 2021. I won the Jackie Robinson Black History Months, right, with the 42 at the top, the black and white ones, not the cleats like Uncle Neely got in the back. I had the shoes, the Jackie Robinson, the black Ken Griffey Juniors. I won those. They were retailing for about $380, $400 at the time. I found a buyer and said, you know what? I should have kept those, but I ain't had the money just to go spend $500 on those sneakers that day. So what I did was I said, all right, I'm gonna sell these and take that money. By the time that money gets here for this sale, I'll just use that to go in on the Agassiz. Who need, I can get another pair of Black History Months. I ain't gonna be able to find these Agassiz no more. I do it, get the sale done. A week goes by. I'm waiting, bragging. Oh yeah, I'm finna kill him. Because I was stocking up on retro stuff. Mind you, this hat probably would have killed them. It'd have killed them cones up there too. The 98s up there in the corner. Yeah, I see them up there, them orange and purples. Would have killed them too. But man, a week goes by, another week goes by, and I said, dog, I'm not getting these shoes, am I? I asked my partner. He said, I don't think so, dude. I hit StockX. I said, they never sent the shoes. They said, sorry, Mr. Dukes. The seller has chosen not to sell the shoes. We will refund your money. I was so sick. And then by the time I got my money back, the Black History Months had shot up. They might still be at 500 right now. I was so sick, bro. So sick. He said, oh man, you sold a pair to get another and it fell through. Yes, I did, bro. Never again. Never again. I went on a little spree after that, man. I got these. Everybody love these. I paid $5 for these. I know they just hard to find. 2010 Dion's. This colorway so hard to find. I went ahead and dropped $5 on them. And I wore them probably once. I probably never wear them. Those. That's probably what I probably dropped the most on. Everything else I either got. I was catching steals on eBay. Like both pair of my junior sales, I caught steals on. Yeah, everything else. That's the only thing I really just caught that I was just like, yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing worthwhile. Yeah, I think I forgot about them. Yeah, I got man. So another pair of shoes that I love. Y'all remember them Have a Night days? They like the purple, turquoise, and black ones with the smiley face that say "Have a night day," Nike day instead of "Have a nice day." I think they probably at about 350 by now. I got the 98s in those. But yeah. Oh, and I got the Air Pillars, and I want to find the Michigan pair of the Air Pillars so bad. The Air Max Pillars, the Michigan pair, the blue and yellow ones, I cannot find them. Air Max Pillars, if y'all don't remember these, the high top Air Max. Hold on, I'll just show you. These came out my junior year in high school, which was 98, 99. But these in blue and yellow, they are so hard to find. Professor Schooler, man, I think he got like the only pair I've seen online. Him and Mike Cartel. Those are two guys y'all should follow for the sneakerhead culture. Are you going to get to do it? Man, you know it. Gotta get them. I'm gonna tell you what I'm finna go get. My must-have shoe. Yes, I'm finna get these Air Diamond Turf 2s, the red ones. Did y'all see the Pro Bowls? The Pro Bowl Air Diamond Turf 2s that he wore with the Pro Bowl jersey? Oh my goodness. They so cold. Goodness gracious. But yeah, man. So now what I usually do is I go get a bunch of hats and then I go find shoes to go with them. So man, I don't know what I'm gonna get to go with. So I just did a hat run. I got some cold ones. These are my favorite pickups from the hat run. All right, let me see. This is one of them. I already showed y'all the Ultimate Warrior. So that was a favorite. This is a Toronto Blue Jays hat. One of my favorites. I don't know why this hat looked like this. It's like a rose red. I don't know. Love this hat. I got what else? That one was called. Yeah, I know. I had a kick. So I've been going crazy with the minor league teams. So this is a Birmingham Trash Pandas hat. And you see like the little panda tail with the rocket or Huntsville. Where the Trash Pandas from in Alabama? If anybody knows a minor league team called the Trash Pandas. But the new era minor league hats are like my new collector's item. So this is another one. So I love that hat. Old school Braves with only the feather, the Chief Nakahoma feather. Love that one. And man, I got some more down here. This is a Giants hat I thought was cool. I don't know if y'all do Major League Soccer, but Seattle Sounders, I like that one. Oh, boom, there you go. Hold on. Last favorite one. I don't know why I like this hat so much, but Oakland A's and like a Philadelphia Phillies color. This is a 40-year commemorative anniversary hat for the A's. Love this one. So these are my top 5 pickups. Oakland A's and Phillies colors. Old school Braves. Trash Pandas hat. Bro, they got a Trash Pandas hat with the panda on there. With the raccoon on there. Bro, that mother so cold. This Blue Jays hat with the wood grain logo. With crazy. And once again, the Ultimate Warrior hat. I got no. Which one would y'all go with? Ultimate Warrior. Is this the top pickup? Ultimate Warrior. Wood Grain Blue Jays. Trash Pandas. Old School Braves Feather. Or the alternate A's, the Philly A's. Which one? Y'all drop in the comments. Which one was y'all favorite? I think I got to go with the Ultimate Warrior, man. I think I got to go Ultimate Warrior, dog. I'll check Facebook with y'all. Tim said Rocket City. For sure. I like that Trash Pandas hat too. Ultimate Warrior for sure. Ultimate Warrior, yeah. The Trash Pandas are the A's. Trash Pandas. Shout out to minor league hats. Dude, snap with that one. If you know, you know. OG culture. Nah, hey man, I appreciate it. Take one to know one, though, my brother. And the best thing about it, I didn't spend full price on that one hat. That's one thing about me, bargain shopper. Now the shoes, it ain't a whole lot of leveraging I can do, but the hats of every fitted cap y'all just saw, and there's a bunch of them in here. I ain't spending over $25. All right, y'all. So look, man, I'm about to go knock out this interview. For my Auburn fans, we got Jason Campbell lined up now. So we're gonna talk, do a nice wrap up with okay, my bad. Get you a St. Patrick's Day Phillies hat. Oh, man. Ain't gotta do that. Hold on. Oh no, never mind. I got a St. Patrick's Day Mets. I need to get a St. Patrick's Day Phillies. You're right. Zeke 3100. What's happening? What up, Zeke? So you know 3100 where we from, that's Regency Park. Shout out to Regency. Shout out to the 4-5 block too. Washington Road. Minor leagues and HBCU has on my go-to. Yeah, man. Now, I ain't even show y'all the Nitro hat. So I like retro. So as you can tell, I'm really stuck in the 90s. I love retro stuff. So y'all remember when Nitro was going crazy? Man, $8, bro. $8. Just for the nostalgia. My son like that too. My son is really like he's 12 going on 70. Or really he's 12 going on 46. He's a little older than me. That's it. He's a little older than me. What's up, Kai and K? That throwback San Diego go hard, man. I appreciate it. And I was oh yeah. I had on the San Diego Padres missions hat, right? The minor league hat. What that missions hat at? See, the minor league teams, though, I love them because I love the minor league teams because they logos be so crazy. I forgot what team this is. But they logos it's like the Bulldog Knights or something like that. Then I got a bunch of the teams in Texas. They got what? Bro, this a Rockies hat, bro. This for anybody in Colorado. Hold up. This for anybody in Colorado. That one cold too. It's like an alternate Rockies hat. Alternate Rockies. For sure. They snap with that one too. But look, man, Man, appreciate y'all having Duke's hat time college football. You never know what you're gonna get. But y'all know if y'all ever want to get me off topic, we can start talking 90s music, 90s shoes, and hats. Them three things, I'm off topic every time. Man, I appreciate y'all hanging out. We at the hour mark. Man, look, we're gonna do this again. I like doing it. So really, I'm building out a college football show because I don't know where I want to take. Like, and what I'm doing is trying to figure out where do I want to take my interviews. Like, I got more interviews coming now. Of course, the Colorado videos will come straight to y'all. But man, man, this was like a whirlwind off season. Man, I got a chance to meet Josh Heupel. Got a chance to meet Pete Golden. Got a chance to meet Alex Golesh. Like, of course, you know, it got really crazy. Then I'm like, hey, bro, I need that interview. Got you, Dukes. Got you, Dukes. Got you, Dukes. So I just want to set up a vehicle where when I talk about more college football that we could bring it in. So shoot, man. Look, if you like Josh Pate, that's my cousin anyway. You know, I don't call Josh Pate a Caucasian. I call him my cousin. So shout out to Josh Pate, man. But yeah, man. So hopefully, man, he might come executive produce the show for me or so. All right. All right, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all to death, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out. See y'all soon, man. I'm out.